Hello, welcome back. It always takes me a while to set this up, damn it. Hello, everyone, whether you are watching this live or whether you are catching the replay of this. I want to welcome you to this weekly live stream here on my channel. If you've never been on one of these live streams before, or you're maybe completely new to my channel, I'm Lorena. I'm a self-concept coach, and I help women to shift their self-concept, embody a new state of being, and ultimately align with the reality that they desire and make that manifest. And these live streams are happening most weeks, currently on Mondays, although I am thinking to change the day to Wednesday going forward. This is probably going to happen in the new year. I'm going to rearrange some dates or like some days for when I'm uploading. I'm planning on uploading more come next year, so that's exciting. Before I get into the topic, I just I feel a bit ungrounded, which is maybe because I've been kind of running around all morning. I got up at 5 this morning. Really proud of myself. I got up at 5. I feel really alive from it. And I had the intention for the past 2 months to walk 10,000 steps per day. Just because, it's really good for me to be in nature. It's really good for my well-being, mentally, emotionally, and also because I work from home, as you may know. There's a lot of chaos in the background. I apologize. Didn't think about this before I started the video. Or the live stream. So yeah, it's really hard for me to kind of get my movement in because I don't really have to walk anywhere. So I'm making it happen, but I live in Scotland, so it rains most of the time, unfortunately. And this morning, because I got up so early, I got my 10,000 steps in before 10 a.m. and now it is pouring outside. It wasn't this morning. And that's awesome. So let that maybe motivate you to follow whatever intention you have for your day. But let's get into the topic that I want to speak about today. So if you're not familiar with how these live streams kind of work, I usually speak about whatever topic feels alive and important for me in that moment or in that week. And but this is also a great opportunity for you to sort of connect with me and ask your questions, share where you are at, and you're able to really be seen and witnessed here as well, and connect with me and the rest of the community and ask any questions. So what I want to speak about today, though, is the importance of shifting your self-concept and what that even means, what it even means to really shift your self-concept. And firstly, it's important because it is truly the basis for everything else. Your self-concept really shapes the reality that you experience because it encompasses your beliefs and your assumptions and your perception of yourself and reality, how you show up in the world, the thoughts and the feelings you have, how you act in the world, how you carry yourself. All of these things are kind of within your self-concept, within the identity you embody and you show up with. And now in the manifestation world, there is some talk about shifting your self-concept, but I think a lot of people aren't really clear on what that really means because the way it's often portrayed is, you have an affirmation that you want to embody, and then you say these affirmations or you meditate on it, and that's it. And the thing is, the topic of your self-concept, as you could maybe tell from how I defined it, it's big. It's really big. And you have to remember that whatever self-concept you are currently operating from, you have it because of your past experience. You have it because of the things that you've been told by other people. You have it because of the culture and the society that you grew up around, your environment, your family, all of these things, your friends, your partners, whoever influences you. because all of this influenced you and is still influencing you over time. And it's not only that, it's that programming, but it's also who you truly are. Let's call that your true self. It's also the ego that you've naturally developed from childhood onwards, and as I said, the influences and the programming that you've received. So you see how big this is, and this is not a small feat. This is not something that a meditation or your imagination, visualizing a scene or saying a particular amount of affirmations can just, I don't even want to say eliminate, but shift, right? And depending on how old you are, when you think about all these messages that you received over the years, that's multiple, if not many, decades of solidifying an identity or a self-concept. And that's why it kind of bothers me when people pretend that it can just be changed like that and it just requires you to assume something else, because no. If you've ever tried that, you know that it's not easy. And when you just, try to assume something else, you will notice that it's actually really difficult to assume something that you don't truly believe, especially about yourself, but also about your reality. And the true way to, or the most sustainable and the most effective way to truly changing your self-concept is through an integrated process, an intentional process that over time leads to a new embodiment and a complete transformation of self. So changing your self-concept means changing your perception of yourself completely. It does not mean, I believe I'm a queen or I'm beautiful. That's not what your self-concept is. It's about everything about you, really, including how you show up and your behaviors and your reactions and all of the things that I mentioned. And if you, for example, ever try to establish a new habit, the new year is just around the corner, right? So maybe that resonates. Maybe you've set some intentions before this year started, and for, habits you wanted to embody and you show up with and you wanted to establish. Have you managed all of them? Let me know. Please share what intentions you had for this year and how much of that you actually stuck to. If you did, then congratulations. If you didn't, then that's pretty normal, right? It's because it's not very easy to establish a completely new habit. It's no wonder most people ditch their New Year's resolutions by the end of January, because establishing a new habit requires a lot of persistence. It requires a lot of support, a lot of intentionality. It's a big deal. And now this is about habits, right? And habits are a part of your identity. But now imagine what it's like to do an overhaul of your whole identity, of your whole self-concept, and how difficult that is. And that also doesn't happen overnight. And that also isn't easy to stick to. And by the way, when I say, an overhaul of your whole self-concept, I don't mean that you're changing who you are at the core. This is very important as well. It's more so about getting closer to who you are at the core and removing the programming that does not align with your true self. Hope you heard that with the siren in the background. Yeah, it's about removing the programming that does not align with your true self. I think that's what I said. Now, can you manifest quickly without changing your self-concept and going through this intense, deep process of transformation, which, by the way, often includes a lot of emotional healing, a lot of emotional processing, because these beliefs that you have in your subconscious about yourself, about your circumstances, your reality, the people around you, they are often, let me change that, always wound up and connected to some emotional experiences that you then need to process and move through as well and integrate as well. But now, can you manifest without doing all that? Can you manifest quickly without changing your self-concept and going through this process of transformation without going so deep, like I suggest? Because it's a lot easier to just meditate yourself out of it, right? Like that seems a lot simpler. And the truth is, you can manifest without doing that. The issue is, it won't feel as good when you receive it, because there will be a part in you that doesn't feel aligned with the reality that you've just manifested. Because if you don't see yourself as the person in that reality and you don't feel it in your being, then it's almost like you have this part in you that feels like you don't deserve it, or that it feels unnatural, or it feels like you're like in the wrong film or something like this. So it won't feel as good when you receive it if you neglect your self-concept and you just come at it with like visualization. You also won't enjoy the process, because some manifestations, especially the bigger ones, take time. I actually have a video coming about this at the end of the week, a little teaser for you already. It's going to be about how to deal with the time lag when manifesting and staying patient and persistent. That's going live on Friday at 5 p.m. GMT. But if you don't change your self-concept, you're going to struggle with that process that will take time. And you don't want to feel like the whole time you are on the journey, or you are walking across the bridge of incidents and you are, letting things unfold. You don't want to be in this state of not feeling good about yourself and not feeling good about your future the whole time. And the other thing is also, even when you do receive it, you will likely find it a lot harder to sustain the manifestation, because your identity isn't aligned with it, right? Like your self-concept might not be aligned with that reality, like I said earlier, with, it not feeling as good when you receive it, if you neglect that. But the sustaining of it is harder because of that as well, because when you don't match up with the identity of the person who finds it natural to be in that reality, you might repel the very thing you want, and you might lose it again. So that's why people manifest a relationship, but then, they repeat the same pattern with the person and they break up again. Or that's why people come into a lot of money, but then they lose the money, or they get really depressed after having the money. You see this a lot with lottery winners, like people who come into a lot of money very quickly, a lot of wealth very quickly, that is vastly different from what they have experienced before. So it's important for your self-concept to align with that very reality that you want to manifest, so that like it feels good on the way, you can enjoy it when you receive it, and you can actually keep that manifestation, maintain that manifestation long term. So talked a lot, so let me take a sip of tea. Yeah, that was the topic for today. I also wanted to share a little teaser for something that is coming later this week. So I'm not going to say what it is. You can maybe guess. If you want to guess, then leave me a comment. But one thing that I will tell you is that with what I'll be announcing later this week, you will have the option to receive a free coaching session with me. So that is something that I have never offered before. And if you want to know what this relates to and how you can apply to get a free coaching session, then sign up to my mailing list. The link is below. I'll also put it in the comments. So you can stay informed more on this later in my email. So you may want to sign up. And I hope you have a magical week in the meantime. And I'll talk to you at the end of the week, and I'll hopefully see you for Friday's video premiere as well. Friday, 5 p.m. GMT. Okay, my loves, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.